Kia and today's headlines. There's been a swift reaction to the dismissal of Alistair Thompson from the Employer and Manufacturers Association over his comments last month regarding the gender pay gap. From the Prime Minister down, politicians are not surprised, John Key saying the former EMA chief had to face the consequences of his statements. Green Party co-leader Russell Norman thinks the EMA should have acted sooner, and the Council of Trade Unions went so far as to suggest that the organisation needs to do more than just sack Mr. Thompson to restore its reputation and address gender discrimination. The government's financial statements for the 11 months to the end of May show some early signs of progress in getting the deficit under control. Finance Minister Bill English says over that period, the operating deficit before gains and losses was $10.8 billion. That's $1.3 billion below forecast due to higher tax revenue and lower Crown expenses. The trucking industry is being warned against breaking safety rules. It follows driving bans and fines imposed by transport authorities on 21 drivers and their Waikato-based employer for breaking safety rules around rest breaks and hours of work. Transport Minister Stephen Joyce says the breaches are serious and it's a signal to the industry that the NZTA will take enforcement measures. The Security Intelligence Service has gained new powers after Parliament passed legislation updating the laws governing the spy agency. The SIS Amendment Bill faced little opposition, being voted through by 107 votes to 10. It allows the agency to gain warrants for activities like electronic tracking, computer surveillance, and the intercepting and monitoring of cell phone communication and cyber identities. To overseas news, more nuclear plants may shut down as Japan continues checks on the country's 54 reactors. Stress tests are being conducted following the post-tsunami crisis at the Fukushima plant. Only 19 of Japan's 54 reactors are operating following the disaster, and the government has announced new checks and a pledge to secure enough electricity for the peak usage months of summer. A new report claims China's soaring coal consumption in the last decade has held back global warming, evidenced by the 10-year period from 1998 to 2008, which saw a lack of a steady temperature rise. Boston University professor Robert Kaufman says there's a precedent in the post-World War II economic boom, when a rapid increase in sulfur emissions cancelled much of the greenhouse gas effect and blocked some of the sun's rays from reaching the Earth, thus acting as a coolant. And finally, there are reports of talks between representatives of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi and opposition members who've been fighting to depose him since February. Progress on the ground has been slow despite more than 5,000 NATO airstrikes since the end of March. Most foreign analysts express skepticism about the potential for a quick solution.
I do believe that those pressures are steadily building up and that in due course there will be a series of risings against the Libyan regime, against Colonel Gaddafi and his family.
That's it from me, but you can keep up with the latest news on our website at rima.co.nz. And there are bulletins throughout the evening on the half hour on Shine TV. Pumarie.